So here's the overview of the page. To add a new expense, or you can enter the item name, or what did you buy, just a kind of description, enter the price, set up the category, and add a new expense. Then you go to view breakdown, you see the financial dashboard, your monthly spending, status of your budget, daily analysis, cost breakdown, the top five expenses. So then go to add expense again to add another expense, and you can easily move through the two interfaces. So now I buy a laptop 550 or 5,000. I change the category to shopping, then save a new expense and added successfully. So you can see the overview. By the time you come down to top five expenses, you see that that item has taken the highest category. So I want to just do a quick run on if you were to deploy this yourself from scratch, how do you go about it? So start with the DynamoDB table. So right now I'll be creating some of these things fresh. Right now I already have two tables. So when I come to tables, you see two of them here. So I'll just do a rerun of some of these things. So create table. So still budget. Say budget tracking table. So partition killed, or let's just say ID. I think it was ID I used here. It's still ID, so I'll just leave it as ID, leave sort key and leave default settings. So right now I'm using budget tracking table for this new demo, and I'll just say budget 2. Okay, that's wrong. Or let me say I'll use budget tracking table to track the budget, and I'll say spending tracking table. So partition key, still ID. I think it's still ID I used for. Okay, budget adds its own ID, but I'll leave that as that. I'll still use ID. You just have to be conscious of that when you're doing your integrations. So okay, I think I should let me see if I can just select the two I need. Or maybe I should have only done it in a new region, so I won't tamper with this, but I'll just keep this the data I'm using in mind. Spending tracking table and budget tracking table. That should be easy. So now that I have my two tables, I'll integrate my API gateway. That's the next thing, to connect my API gateway to these tables. So I'll just need one API gateway for that to work. So this is finance to demo. I'll just create a new API so you'd see how you would integrate it. So REST API, new API. So this would be, the other one was with finance tracking. So I would be like, okay, expense manager API. So leave that one. Okay. IP address type IPv4. Okay. I think more functionalities are coming up because I don't remember noticing that one before. So yeah, create my two resources on enable calls because we're dealing with front-end here. So one would be update expenses, update expenses, create resource. Yeah, so now cause has been enabled to put options here. So okay, let me create. So now to create the second resource, so update expenses. So yeah, that'll be update object, create resource. So now I have both. So yeah, create method type is post. So now it's not Lambda function but AWS service. It's in the same region. We're in US East 1. Service is DynamoDB. So leave subdomain, and this is post. So we're using action name, which is put item. Execution rule. So I'll just come here and get my row. Row ARN. Come back here, paste this, leave the rest. I think that's good. I wanted to maybe make sure I could put my query string parameters there, but just to keep it simpler, when you want to do things like request, maybe validation and some other things like that, you would put them there, maybe signify that it's compulsory. Or let me just show you how you go about that. So query string parameters, you can put something like date, put it as required, then validator, maybe say validate query string parameters and headers. Yeah, but I'll leave that right now. So I think I have that set up. Yeah, I still need to edit the integration request. So I did the integration request, mapping template. So this is I need to be sure of which one of them I'm dealing with. A second. So this to update budget. I'll come back to my integration request, update budget, right? So let me come to VS Code and grab some of the things I've kept. So this updates. Okay. So I'll grab this. I'll leave these resources on my GitHub page for you to access them. So I'll come here, mapping templates, add mapping templates, application/JSON, template body, paste this. So the table name, I have to change this, of course. So right now I'm dealing with budget tracking table. Yeah, so this was what I was conscious about. So I have budget tracking table, I have spending tracking table. And I'll change this to table name. So the ID here, so this was just ID. So I'll leave this as just ID here. So this will be static, and when any new budget comes in, to replace this and set your actual budget column as whatever your budget is. So I'll save this. I think I'm good to go here. So come back to update expenses, create a new method, post, AWS service again, US East 1, AWS service is DynamoDB. So DynamoDB, use action name here. So this also puts item. I'll grab my row. I'll paste that here. So yeah, I'll create this method and also edit the. What was that? HTTP method must be known. So that's HTTP method. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Post create method. So that's successful. Integration request. I did this. Then mapping templates, add mapping templates. So that's application/JSON template body. I'll come to grab this from here. So this, as I'm doing my expenses here, I'll copy this. Come back here, paste this. And now let me check it to be sure. So it's budget tracking table, spending tracking table. Make sure that's all right. I'll place this here. Okay. So I'll leave these ones here. So this just grabs the ID of this request. Then we need that date, item, price, category, and if there's any income. Then I'll save this. I think I'm good to go. Course has been enabled. That's very important. And again, you can also edit query string, add them here, mark them as required, and all of that. So I'll deploy this new stage. I'll just call this dev deploy. So right now we'll get our invoke URL, which is what we'll be putting on the front end. So now we have set up our DynamoDB tables. I've also set up API gateway. So okay, I think let me see. Yeah, we'll set up API gateway, we'll set up DynamoDB tables. We'll come back to Amplify, and then okay, let me just set up the Lambda function. So I'll open a new Lambda. So now I have the spending tracker function. I'll just create one new one, auto from scratch. I'll call it expense tracker function. So this is not Node, this is Python. I'll leave the other settings. I'll still use the default execution rule because it isn't calling any other AWS service. Okay, so just that'll create a new rule with basic Lambda permissions. Yeah, we also need to enable function URL. Could have done that the other way, but I'll do that here. Yeah, I can configure cores here also, but I think I already have that in the code. Then so I just create one. What type? I'll say none. Just keep it simple. So to create this policy, and that's alright. Create this function. So the expense tracker function has been, while it's creating, come here and grab this. So we still need to edit this to make sure it goes in with the new setup. So I'll replace all of this here. Yep. So of course we need to update the table that it's actually calling. So new spending data. Okay, the budget table is now. Put that. Yeah. So the budget table is now budget tracking table. Control C, copy that. So budget tracking table. Budget table. So I'll put that here. Then the other table to track expenses. That's spending tracking table. Copy that. No. Paste that here. New spending data. Okay. So I have those two here. Tells that here. I think that's about it. It does the other things on its own. And I'll just deploy this. So it's updating. So right now we would have the Lambda function ready. So what I'm just going to do is, okay, let me also do the amplifier. I was thinking I'll just edit the GitHub, but then let me come to amplify and something here. So right now I'm in Amplify. I already have the app, finance tracker app that I created running. So I'll just create a new one just so you would see how you would do the integration. So right now it's GitHub. As I said, they have other options. Usually I would deploy without Git and maybe just do it from S3 buckets. So you want to deploy from S3 buckets, you deploy without Git. But right now I'm not going through that route. So next. So I think, okay. Yeah, I've already connected them. So I'll come down to that's finance tracker, yeah. So that's finance tracker. So I just leave that as that. So I'll leave this. Can you see finance tracker? So to separate it from the other ones. I think I'll leave the rest. And I'll leave all these ones the way they are. Click next. So okay, save and deploy. So creating your app. I actually like this interface. Then I'll come down there and so it's still deploying. I should get a new URL for it. To be finance tracker deploying. And it's taking a while. Make it deploy. So if I come here, you see of course the one that has been deployed before. So if I come to analytics, you still see the previous data and everything, the same one with the other app. But now I want to do something. I want to update it on the GitHub, so I'll change some things. So I'll first come to my index page and so what do I need to edit here? Of course, I'm editing my API gateway. So let me come to the API gateway. So this is expense manager, so I'll need to close it up this. It's supposed to be at stages. So I need to know, okay, I mean, update budget and update expenses. So let me copy this, invoke URL, and I'll come to GitHub. So where was that? Okay, here it is. So I'll still leave all of that one there, and I'll replace this. Still there, right? Okay, I haven't clicked on edit this file. So I'm supposed to, I'll come down to this burnout dev. So as you can see, that changed, and instead of new purchase, this is actually this is new purchase, update expenses, slash new purchase slash update expenses. Yes, so that's the first one. Then the second one, we'll also replace this. So instead of set budget, it will be update budget, right? Update budget, without an alpha. updates. Team budget is capital letter. Alright, update budget, yeah. So that's right. Okay, so I think that's okay. So I'll commit this change and just directly to my branch. So I also need to do that for spending dashboard. But if you come here, you see it's already redeploying it. But so because I'm not yet done, I'll come back here, and it's just the function URL that I need to change. When I get that, yeah, fetch from. So I'll come here, expense tracker, get my function URL, copy this, come here, fetch from Lambda, yeah, now paste this here. Is that right? Okay. Same mistake. Same mistake. Where was that? Yeah, have it fetch from. Yeah, so that's updated. Think that you can ignore this part of the code. I should even probably remove it. It's just for demonstration purposes when I was still working on the code itself. So I think that's that. Commit changes, and saving. So that's done. I'll come here. Okay, I need to start trying to deploy it again. So I'll just wait a couple of seconds for that. Deploying. So yeah, I mentioned CloudWatch. So let me see out CloudWatch. And setting up monitoring for API gateway. You go about that by coming to your stages, logging and tracing edits. I've done this on maybe errors and info logs. Maybe turn on data tracing and leave the rest, and then save this. But firstly, you'd have actually configured your settings here and enabled CloudWatch login and attached a role for it. But if you would like maybe like a demo on that, maybe you just put that in the comments below. Then API keys, another concept in API gateway. Then Lambda function creates a monitoring tool for that. So I just come to log groups. But this should be done by now. Okay, swap still deploying. That's taking a while. Okay, deployed now. But let me just show you this. So I have some API gateway logs, but to know which one you would actually want to look at is you'd check out the APIs. So is this one I just created, stages. So O3PRC, I'll come here. So I'm looking for O3PRC, so you can see it here. Check the log groups and the invocations and all of that. So right now I think I have 0 log streams because the API hasn't been called. But if I come here and then open this, as you can see, this is working. And I'm sure if I come to analytics, I'm going to get 0, nothing there. Set field blue. I don't think there's anything there. There's nothing there actually. So what do I want to buy? Liable activities 20. Serial expense. Fail to submit that. What is the error? Okay, I'm getting cause error. I did set that up. Okay, let me come back to my API. Okay, let me come to post. Let me edit the integration request and do some settings. So header mappings, I'll just add all of this to the post. So I did. So let me open this in a new tab so I don't have to do that over and over again. I'll just copy and paste it. So coming to post, I want to edit this header mappings, right? No headers for the status code. So I'll create, okay, for 200. Where was I? Still an expense manager. So options. Okay, yes, I want to look at the integration response. So yeah, header mappings, this for status code 200 here. So okay, I think I should first edit the method response before I edit the mappings. So I'd come to method response and then add some headers. So the first header would be this other headers. So I'll plug this in. So I think that's one. I'll add the second one. I'll plug this in here. I'll add the third one method. So the origin, of course, allow all origin is actually our main issue here. So I'll add this to then I'll save this. So that's then I'll come to the integration response and do some mappings. So I did this. So for each of these, the mapping value would be this for the allow headers, allow methods. So these are the I don't need all of this, but it's just post. But sometimes I'll be overkill. I'll just save this. I'll come and do the same for this one because both of them also require. I think it's even this one that requires it more. Okay, both of them actually do. Yeah, both of them do. So come here, add header, and just repeat the same thing. So copy this. This video is getting longer than I planned, but at least you would see how to solve some of these issues as you're developing and you're designing and architecting and proceeding. So methods, allow headers, allow methods, allow origin, and just save this. So integration response, so the mapping of the two. So I'm mapping to these values. So take this, paste this, or take this. Setting up codes. Usually, sometimes without even setting up all of this, it would work because I've already set up the setup codes on options, but still. So now I have these three in my post method response. Oh yeah, I only had one. Okay, let me come to options. I have these three. Come to options. I have these three, and I have these three method response header access screenshot origin. And this should be enough usually. But then so I have this options post. I may do this. I think I'll move this one, save this. And so I did this. Save this. at least I have my access controller origin, method response, access data access controller origin. Course has been enabled. So I'll close this deploy and just should I say pray it works. So right now to update add an expense. So light bulb still utilities still expense. Oh, same error. Okay, contains multiple values but only one is allowed. Contains multiple values. That's here. I'm trying to update my expenses right now. Let me try and update my budget. I'll just hit 30,000. Wow, budget updated successfully. So update budget works. Update budget works. So what is different between the two options? 1, 2, 3 options. 1, 2, 3 options. 1, 2, 3 options. 1, 2, 3 post. 1, 2, 3 post. Exactly. Let's see. I'll just save this. Okay, so I'll deploy this and then I hope it works. So it might take a minute to propagate, but then if you update this works, then it comes to the DynamoDB table. And right now I'm looking at object tracking table and exploitable items. So actually have a value. So that worked. So let me save this expense. So it worked. Expense added successfully. Wow. Well, I'm just glad it works. I'm just glad it works now. So once I come to view breakdown, I hope this works too. This doesn't work right now. So I'm sure the error is still the same. Bad gateway. Fail to fetch spending dashboard. Oh, I think I've figured out what is wrong. It must have something to do with my permissions, because I don't think I kept the permissions for it to actually pull from DynamoDB. Yeah, I think that must be it. That must definitely be it. Spending tracker function, I think this doesn't have. So let me view. I should actually update the rule for it to access. provide user access to DynamoDB, but these DynamoDB streams, I don't need DynamoDB streams. Read only access to DynamoDB. I think this is what I need. Okay, let me add this permission. Maybe I added the wrong one the other time. Okay, read only access. Maybe probably this was what I added before. Let me come in and try this. But only one is allowed. Okay. Yeah, it means I have to come back to this experience tracker function. So I need to edit the code and remove this, the one I already have there. So I'll just comment out this one. I think I had it commented before because I had set it up in 2 different places. So I'll just deploy this right now and this should work. So I'll refresh this and it works. Finally. So right now we have the new one. So this is today and we've only spent 140. The budget I kept was 30,000. So I had expense this till today. I think it was light bulb. Let me come to analytics and see what I have here. So yeah, it's just light bulb, $140 utilities. So let me add another expense. What did I buy? Price. So this is actually food and dining. Yes, I'm coming with 1,000. Added successfully. Let me reduce the budget. Yeah. Okay. 4%. So if I change the budget to, so right now food has swallowed up utilities. And if I just want to update my budget, instead of feel that maybe I feel I'm spending too much with budget of 30,000, I just budget 10,000 and I save it. Budget updated successfully, and come back to analytics. And right now I see that okay, I'm already at 13% of my monthly budget. So I still have 87% remaining. Then let me change budget again to 5,000. By now I'd have with 5,000 I'd have 27% remaining of. It's still a lot. If I had another expense of maybe 2,000, let me say 4,000 to actually exceed the budget, and then probably spent it on entertainment. Bad decision. And I received no income and I saved this. And I come back to analytics right now. I've exceeded my budget and it's red. So budget status minus 340. So this is bad decision. And right now you can see my top 5 expenses. I spent more than I spent on utilities, and I spent this is definitely bad decision. So welcome to the end, that's the end of the whole of this project. Bring back the architectural diagram, and thank you for watching this. See you in the next one.